Hello, Shauna K here. As I've delved more into oils and natural beauty products like lotions and stuff for your skin, that comes from a history of a lot of issues, whether it be the classic cellulite, stretch marks, early wrinkling, early aging signs for someone at my age. Like for me, it kind of showed its ugly face in my early 30s. So it caused me to dive more into, okay, what kind of things am I wasting money on? Because all of those products are expensive. And the cheap ones, you're like, okay, so what did they put in it? So if you're frugal or look to save your money or even question why something so little in a jar would be over $100, if you're that way, like me, then you will kind of dive into those things too. And sometimes it's a lot of work, a lot of commitment to kind of research that and even create some of your own. So that's kind of where my desire to do that came from. And my mother, I grew up with a very holistic, organic mother who loved to do everything natural. All we did early on when Whole Foods first came out, that was our store. That's what I grew up with. Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, everything was natural. And a lot of our money, we weren't rich, but most of our money went to healthy foods. And that was a commitment that my family had because of how good it was for your body. So we went without family vacations in exchange for healthy food. And a lot of families won't do that, but mine did. And that's where the respect and love for the natural way of living and what you consume or put on your body kind of came from. So as I did some experimenting, I'm all for alternative medicine, holistic natural options. I'm not an extreme though. I'm kind of a realistic one. I am too busy, and frankly, sometimes it's just a waste of money. Sometimes it really doesn't matter. If you're super healthy, you'll still get cancer, for example. The trade-off sometimes really doesn't equal out the same, or it's really not obvious. Like if you would feel amazing eating or omitting something, you would do it. But if it kind of levels out so you don't really notice a difference or it doesn't really do anything different, those are the things I don't waste my time on. And a lot of people would disagree with that. Like I don't make my kids eat JoJo's from Trader Joe's. I buy them Oreos. And there's a lot of unhealthy things in that, but it's all in moderation, right? I don't let them pig out on Oreos. I don't let them just have sugary foods constantly. But again, I'm not that picky, so I am that balanced person, which most channels that talk about natural holistic things are definitely more of the extreme than I am. So this isn't my background. This isn't my profession. It is just a desire. It's a hobby in my older age to be more knowledgeable on it. So I started to create these oils. I started to experiment with them. I started to look at the things that actually did make a huge difference on my face or my problem areas that I had to pay a lot of money for. And I researched what was in those things so I could create kind of my own version or get bulk, cheaper options. Because a lot of times companies will just charge more. I'm not an idiot. I have education. My education is marketing, so I'm well aware of the pricing and how it works for businesses. Would cost them otherwise $5 to make, they want to charge like $100. So that happens, so I wanted to dive deep into that. Now there's a lot of oils, a lot of ingredients in there that are amazing, but there's also a lot of fluff. There's a lot of chemicals because obviously that you want a long shelf life. There's factors like smell. Even though in the original natural product might smell funky, that won't sell. Even though the results are better, the more natural and original to the product or the ingredient, it won't sell. So they'll have to add different shit to make it smell better, more alluring, more appealing, but then that tapers with the original benefits of said plant or berry or whatever. Another is color. There are some colors of some of these amazing products and oils and natural things that look ugly, like pea yellow and greenish yellow or just orange, and it's not pretty, right? So then they add stuff to kind of change the color, alter it, etc. But my point being, that affects the benefits. It affects the results you get. You might get a little bit, like some of these products that come from algae or whatnot, that like seaweed. If you have these seaweed lotions and stuff, that barely smells gross. But if you were to actually get the original seaweed powder or oil, it smells really fishy and gross. But if you use it like that from its original state, the benefits are unreal. But what's the price you pay for that original natural botanical effect that you get right out of the plant or right out of that ingredient? That's the price you pay. But that saying, you add all those extra things that make it pretty and alluring to the person that buys it, and they still get some benefits, and they still notice the benefits of said product. But what if they knew how much better or quicker the results would be if all those extra things weren't added? That's what drove me to start creating more of the things that I was already creating for a couple years, because there might be other people like me that might think like that and realize, okay, well, that makes sense, and I would like something like that. So my products are not pretty. The only attempt that I make to make it alluring to a consumer's eye is the labels and the graphics, which is what I do for a living in my business. So that, I was able to do that. But as for the color, I don't mess with the color. The smell, I try not to mess with. Those are just two things that come with the plant that you are benefiting from, that gives you the results that you crave and want. Those are just the downsides to it. There are some mixtures, watered down attempts, but no preservatives. You kind of have to keep it in dark bottles, dark parts of the room or the bathroom, sometimes in the fridge. I have a little mini fridge that I bought and for keeping those kind of things in to preserve it. You can put those in your bathroom, you could put those where you do your makeup or you're putting on your lotions. But those are ways that I kind of keep my things going longer, expiring sooner, because again, you're working with raw materials. So if you go to ShaunaK.com, I have an apothecary where I share all those things that I've been doing and benefiting from myself. The prices are barely, I want to be reasonable, because I know I would not want to pay over $100 for a bottle, right? And this is going to even work 10 times better than that brand you might be buying for over $100. And I still won't charge that much. It's a form of integrity. This is not my source of income, so I don't do it to survive. It would be different if that was the case. I might have to charge more to make ends meet. At this point, I charge enough to just recuperate the money I spent to make these products. I have to buy bulk, and to buy bulk costs money. And overseas is where you get the original great quality oils. A lot of the oils that I work with are overseas in India or in the jungles of Africa, or these places that, they're legit, but they're also expensive because it costs money to sometimes harvest down these products to make oil. Like a lot of a product, just to make a tiny bit of oil, those are the ones that cost a lot of money. But I just wanted to explain that side, because I don't think a lot of people look at it that way. When they look at a product and it's pretty, and the color's on point, the smell's gorgeous, but if you really research the ingredient that's doing the magic, it's neither of those things. The original product doesn't smell good, looks ugly, whatever. And so, going back to the roots of it, to the organic way of seeing things, that's where you get the best results. And that's the desire that I started. That's the motivation I had for the apothecary that I created. And of course, there's so much more than just the oils, but that in and of itself is a huge thing. And I wish it was talked about more. I wish people thought of it that way. Marketing and selling items, it has to be visually appealing to the nose and all your senses. But at what sacrifice? You pay more to get a little bit of the benefits instead of dealing with some downfalls of the product to get the full benefits that they're known to do and give you. Hopefully this helps explain a few things. I know a lot of the people and clients that have been buying my oils and serums have commented on the smell, and I try to add those little fine details in the listings so they understand this is organic, this is original plant-based material and smells that I'm working with. And I'm not saying that they all smell gross. I'm just saying they smell wonderful, but a lot of people are just sensitive to certain smells. So if you are sensitive to smells, that is something to keep in mind. And I won't cave on my way of making these to sell more otherwise if I was to try to chemically change things. I'm just, I'm sorry in advance, and this isn't for everyone, but those are the reasons as to why they might look piss yellow and smell like, just weird stuff. But take a visit at my apothecary, see what you find. The products are there, very reasonably priced. More are coming. I am already very surprised at the turnaround on people wanting it and interested. So a very sincere thank you for those of you who have been a fan and purchasing these. I love to see the incoming testimonies and results and the before and after, which are pretty cool to see. I'll be sharing more of those if you visit my Instagram channel. All that information will be in the descriptions below. Take care, everyone.